Hello! Hello, hello, hello. あ、ちょっと待って。自分の声聞こえる。OK。今日は、BOOKCLUB. Today is going to be a book club. 後でゲストをコールします。Just want to make sure everything is okay. So, I forgot to switch the language to English. So after about 5 minutes, we'll start. Just a minute. Okay. Hello? I'm trying to adjust my audio.
OK?
聞こえますか？
聞こえます。
わかった。今日はショートストーリーを読みます。
はい。
ちょっと自己紹介したいですか？紹介。
どっちでもいいですよ。
Today's guest is からくりジン. He does traditional paper cutting. Anything else?あと1分始めます。
はい。
URL を送ります。
はい。
これは夢です。
はい。
5分経ちました。始めます。
はい。はい。
Let's start. 先日はからくりジンのイラストを描きました。
おありがと
The first one I chose The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Because I love crows and ravens. I was thinking, and if I talk too fast, then tell me. 早く喋ったら教えてください。
はい。
I was thinking I read each 時々自分の言葉を忘れてしまいます。Every other. I was thinking I read every other section. Then you read every other section. 私はこれを読んで、ジンさんはこれを読んで、など、そういう感じです。
はい。
じゃあ、始めましょう。
はい。
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more.
はい。リ
はい。
あ、なんていうの
Distinctly.
Distinctly, I remember it was in the black
Bleak.
chamber. Black?
Bleak.
Bleak? えあどの言葉
Distinctly I remember it was in the bleak of December. 暗い。
ブリあ、ブリ
Bleak.
じゃないか。ブリ December. And
No.
each separate
Separate.
thing member right its ghost upon the floor. なんていうの
Eagerly.
Eagerly, I wish the more.
Moral. Got it.
なんていうの
Vainly.
Bendy.
Yeah.
I had sought to blow. I from my book success.
Oh, I don't know that one either.
ん
私もわからないです。
あ、わかんない The case of slow for the lost Lenora. For the rare and radiant maiden whom
Tomb.
the angels name Lenore. Nameless here forevermore.
Okay. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain filled me with fantastic terrors I have never felt before. So that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor, entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor, entreating entrance at my chamber door. This is it and nothing more.
Me?
Yes.
Presently, my soul glow stranger. He... あ、なんて読むの
Hesitating.
Hesitating.
Yeah.
No longer. Sir, said I, or Madam. Truly. Your forgiveness I implore. What the fact is... What the fact is I was napping and so gently you came napping and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door that I scarce
Scarce.
But sure I heard you. Here I open with the door. Darkness there and nothing more.
You're doing good. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortals ever did to dream before. But the silence wasn't broken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word Lenore. This I whispered and echoed, murmured back the word Lenore. Merely this and nothing more.
Walking into the chamber, turning all my soul written me burning. Soon again I heard I tapping something louder than before. Surely. Surely said. Surely that is something is at my window lighting. Lattice.
I think it's lattice.
Let me see then. What the rest is and this mystery explorer. Let me hear heart be still a moment and this mystery explorer. Hiss the wind and nothing more. Me?
It's me. Watashi. I don't know how to pronounce this.
Ah.
Obeisance.
私にも英語が難しいです。
Obeisance.
Obeisance. Oh.
Basins.
This word. 見たことないです。I'm trying to look for it.僕に人に対して無敵でお辞儀、尊敬。 Open here I flung the shutter, one with many a flirt and flutter. In there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least... I already forgot. Valiance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with the mind of lord or lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat and nothing more.
And this Bonnie, but
Beguiling.
beguiling my thought fancy into smiling by the grave and stare. Then
Decorum. Stern decorum.
down the cone of the
Countenance.
Countenance it wore. Thought the face be shone and shaven. So I said, art sure no craven, ghastly gleam and ancient living,
Wandering.
wandering from the
Nightly shore.
nightly shore. Tell me what the lordly name is on the night
Plutonian.
plutonium shore. Who わからん
A quoth.
Pros
Inyo.
the living never.
Much I marveled this ungainly, foul to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as nevermore.
But the living sitting lonely on that place bust spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further than he
Uttered.
Uttered not further than he flew なんていうの
Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered.
fluttered. Here I scarcely なんていうの Here I
Oh, till I
Here I
scarcely more than muttered.
scarcely muttered, as a friend had from before. On the more he will leave me as he hopes had from before. Since the birds say nevermore.
Startled at this stillness broken, by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless said I, what is utters is its only stock in store. Caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, until his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hopes that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore.
What's the living still beginning? 合ってる
Beguiling.
Beguiling all my thought sold into smiling. Strange.
Straight.
Straight.
Yeah.
Straight. I waited. あ、わからん。
A cushioned.
A cushioned seat in front of birds and bust on until then open the velvet sinking. I took myself to linking fancy up onto fancy, thinking what this ominous birds of you what this grim ungainly 合ってる
Ungainly.
ungainly ghastly gaunt and ominous birds of me in croaking nevermore.
This I sat, engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing. To the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining, that the lamp light floated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining, with the lamp light gloating o'er, she shall press all nevermore.
The method is the air glow dancer, perfumed from an unseen sensor, swing by sharping 合ってる
Seraphim.
surfing whose foot falls sinking sinkled on the tufted
はい、tough.
tuft floor what? なんていうの
Wretch.
Let I plead the God hath lent see なんていうの
Thy God hath lent thee.
もう一回
Thy God hath lent thee.
The God has lent thee by those angels he has sent thee respite and nepenthes from the memories of Lenore. Twelve this kind nepenthes and forget this lost Lenore. Both the living nevermore.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil. Prophet still, if bird or devil. Whether temper sent or whether tempest tossed, thee hath ashore, desolate yet all, undaunted on this desert land enchanted. On this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore.
Prophet なんていうの
Prophet.
Prophet said I think of every prophet still if bad or devil by that heaven that bend above us by that good we both above a door. Tell this sword with slow landing if within the distance aiding. Its shall crisp a sainted maiden for whom the angel's name Lenore clasped a rare and radiant maiden from the angel's name Lenore, both the raven nevermore.
Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked up starting. Get thee back into the tempest of the night's plutonium shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out thy heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
And the raven never sitting still is sitting on the pallid bath of palace just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seams of demons that is dreaming, and the lamp light なんて読むの
Over.
Or him streaming through his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.
終わり。よくできました。どう思いますか？どう思いますか？はい。
わかんないよ。日本語は全然わかんない。
主人公の恋人の名前はレノールです。カラスが入ってきて、Nevermore だけいます。
ネバーモアって何でもないだったっけ？どういう意味だっけ？
一応調べています。もう二度といないという意味です。
ああ、そうなんね。
恋人が亡くなりました。
ああ。
という話です。
そうやったんや。
In the West, crows and ravens are associated with death. アメリカでは。次の話読みたいですか？
いいよ。
ちょっと待ってね。また3つあるんですが、全部読まなくていいです。何を読みたいですか？
何を読みたいですか？ 簡単なのはどれですか？
最後は簡単だと思います。
じゃあそれで。
Grimm Brothers Fairy Tales。
長くない？
長くないです。とても短いです。13ページから始めます。何番読みたいですか？
何番？どれがおすすめですか
？7番は日本語のタイトルわからないです。Sleeping Beauty です。
眠り姫？
はい。
白雪姫か。
眠れる森の美女。
あ、眠れる森の美女。あ
見たことありますか？
あ。はい。
読みたいですか？
はい。
はい。41ページです。
はい。
始めたいですか？私が始めますか？
はい。
私？
はい。お願い、バラバラ。
はい。A king and queen once upon a time reigned in a country of great way off. Where they were in those days fairies. Now this king and queen had plenty of money and plenty of fine clothes to wear, and plenty of good things to eat and drink, and a coach to ride out in every day. But though they had been married many years, they had no children, and this grieved them very much indeed. But one day, as the queen was walking by the side of the river, at the bottom of the garden, she saw a poor little fish that had thrown itself out of the water, and lay gasping and nearly dead on the bank. Then the queen took pity on the little fish, and threw it back into the river. And before it swam away, it lifted its head out of the water, and said, "I know what your wish is, and it shall be fulfilled. In return for your kindness to me, you will soon have a daughter." What the little fish had foretold soon came to pass, and the queen had a little girl, so very beautiful that the king could not cease looking on it for joy, and said he would hold a great feast and make merry, and show the child all the land. So he asked his kinsmen, and nobles, and friends, and neighbors. But the queen said, "I will have the fairies also, that they might be kind and good to our little daughter." Now there were 13 fairies in the kingdom, but as the king and queen had only 12 golden dishes for them to eat out of, they were forced to leave one of the fairies without asking her. So 12 fairies came, each with a high red cap on her head, and red shoes with high heels on her feet, and a long white wand in her hand. And after the feast was over, they gathered around in a ring and gave all their best gifts to the little princess. One gave her goodness, another her beauty, another riches, and so on, till she had all that was good in the world.
Good?
はい。
Just as 11 of them had been pressing her, a great noise was heard in the courtyard, and word was brought that the 13 fairies was come with a black cap on her head and black shoes on her foot, her feet, and broomstick in her hand, and presently up she came into the dining hall. Now as she had not been asked to the feast, she was very angry andなんていうの
Scolded.
scolded the king and queen very much and set to work to take her revenge. So she cried out the king's daughter child in her 15 years year be wounded by spindle and fall down dead. Then the 12th 合ってる 12th
The king very much wanted to be friends. The king's daughter was raised with a spindle and fall found dead. Then the 12th of the friendly fairies.
12th
12th.
12th of the friendly fairies, who had not yet given her gift, came forward and said that the evil wish must be なんていうの
Fulfilled.
fulfilled, but the she couldn't soften it. わからん
Mischief.
mischief. So her gift was that the king's daughter, when the spindle wounded her, should not really die, but should only fall asleep for 100 years.
However, the king hoped still to save his dear child altogether from the threatened evil. So he ordered that all the spindles in the kingdom should be brought up and burnt. But all the gifts and the first 11 fairies were in the meantime fulfilled. For the princess was so beautiful and well behaved and good and wise that everyone who knew her loved her.
It happened that on the very day she was 15 years old, the king and queen were not at home, and she was left alone in the palace. So she roved about by herself and looked at all the rooms and the chamber till at last she came to an old tower, to which there was a narrow
Staircase.
staircase ending with a little door. In the door there was golden key, and when she turned it, the door sprung? 合ってる sprung?
Sprang.
Sprang open, and there sat an old lady spinning away very busily. Why, how now, good mother, said the princess. What are you doing there? Spinning, said the old lady, and nodded her head, hanging a tune.
Tune.
tune while bees buzz. Went the way how pretty なんていうの
Prettily.
Prettily the little thing turned round, said the princess and took the spinning なんていうの spindle
Spindle.
spindle and began to try and spin, but scared had she touched it before the fairies わからん
Prophecy.
prophecy was full わからん
Oh, fulfilled.
fulfilled. The spindle wounded her and she fell down lifelessly on the ground.
However, she was not dead, but had only fallen into a deep sleep, and the king and queen, who had just come home, and all of their court, fell asleep too, and the horses slept in the stables, and the dogs in the court, and the pigeons in the housetop, and the very flies slept upon the walls. Even the fire on the hearth left off blazing, and went to sleep. The jack stopped, and the spit that was turning about with a goose upon it, the king's dinner, stood still, and the cook, who was at that moment pulling the kitchen boy by the hair to give him a box on the ear for something he had done amiss, let him go, and both fell asleep. The butler, who was slyly tasting the ale, fell asleep with the jug at his lips. Thus everything stood still and slept soundly.
A large hedge of thorns soon grew round the palace, and every year it became higher and thicker. Here at last, the old palace was surrounded and hidden so that not even the roof of the なんていうの
Not even the roof or the chimneys could be seen.
chimneys crowd to be seen, but they went report thought the loud land of the beautiful sleeping briar rose. Also, the king's daughter was called, so that from time to time, several kings' sons came and tried to break those that ticked into the palace. This, however, none of them could you ever do, for the stone and vast laid hold of them was as it were with hands, and there they stuck fast and died with なんていうの
Wretchedly.
wretchedly.
Oh. After many, many years, there came a king's son into that land, and an old man told him the story of the thicket of thorns. Sorry. And how a beautiful palace stood behind it, and how a wonderful princess called BaraBara's lay in it asleep, with all of her court. He told, too, how he had heard from his grandfather that many princes had come and tried to break through the thicket, that they had all stuck fast in it and died. Then the young prince said, "Others shall not frighten me. I will go and see this briar rose." The old man tried to hinder him, but he was bent upon going.
Not that very day the 100 years were ending and as the prince came to the ticket, he saw nothing but beautiful flowers, shrubs 合ってる
Shrubs.
shrubs, those which he went with is なんて読むの
To which he went with ease.
is and they shut in after him as thick as ever. Then he came at last to the palace, and there in the
Court.
the
Court.
Court lay the dogs asleep, and the house were standing in the stable, and on the floor on the roof sat the pigeons 合ってる
Like pigeons. 合ってます。
pigeons fast asleep with their head under their wing. And when he came into the palace at the prize, were sleeping on the walls. The spirit was standing still. The
Butler.
butler had the jug of
Ale.
ale at his lips, going to drink a draught. The maid sat with a fowl in her lap, ready to be
Plucked.
and the cook in the kitchen was still holding up her hands as if she was going to beat the boy.
Then he went on still farther, and was so still that he could hear every breath he drew. Still at last he came to the old tower, and opened the door of the little room in which BaraBara's was, and she lay fast asleep on a couch by the window. She looked so beautiful that he could not take his eyes off of her. So he stooped down and gave her a kiss. But the moment he kissed her, she opened her eyes and awoke, and smiled upon him, and they went out together, and soon the king and queen also awoke. And all the court gazed on each other with great wonder, and the horses shook themselves, and the dogs jumped and barked, and the pigeons took their heads from under their wings, and looked about and flew into the fields, and the flies on the wall buzzed again. The fire in the kitchen blazed up. Round went the jack, and round went the spit with the goose for the king's dinner on a bonnet. The butler finished his draught of ale, the maid went on plucking the fowl, and the cook gave the boy a box on his ear.
And then the prince and BaraBara's were married, and the wedding feast was given, and they loved happily. なんていうの
Happily.
happily together all their live long.
はい、よくできました。私は調べたのですが、スピットという言葉調べました。私も知らなかったです。
どういう意味なんですか？
ちょっと待ってね。
うん。
こういう機会です。
ああ。へえ。
グースはガチョウ。
ああ。
やめたいなら教えてください。
別にいいですよ、また。
はい。次は何を読みたいですか？
おすすめがあればそれで。
この話はどうでしたか？
はい。
わかりやすいですか？
わからんわからん。バラバラが読んでるのをマジで見て追うので必死。
特に最初のリンクが好きです。Cask of Amontillado。
どういう意味ですか？
これもエルガー・アラン・ポーです。
何の話やろ？
これは5ページです。The Cask of Amontillado。始めます。
何ページですか
5ページ。
？5ペー
さい
ジ？
最初のリンクです。2つ目のリンクです。
あ、2つ目のリンク？
American English State Gov。
これか、オッケーオッケー。
始めます。
はい。
Fortunato had hurt me 1,000 times, and I had suffered quietly. But then I learned that he had laughed at my proud name. Montresor, the name of an old and honored family. I promised myself that I would make him pay for this, that I would have revenge. You must not suppose, however, that I spoke of this to anyone. I would make him pay, yes, but I would act only with the greatest care. I must not suffer, as a result, taking my revenge. A wrong that is not made right. No, a wrong that is not made right in that manner. And also, the wrong would not be made right unless Fortunato knew that he was paying, and knew he was forcing him to pay.
I give Fortunato なんて読むんだっけ？
Fortunato
Fortunato no task to love me. I continued to smile in his face, and he did not understand that I was now smiling at the thought of what I planned for him, at the thought of my revenge.
Fortunato was a strong man, a man to be feared. But he had one great weakness. He liked to drink good wine. Indeed, he drank much of it, so he knew a lot about fine wines and proudly believed that he was a trained judge of them. I, too, know old wines well, and I bought the best I could find. And wine, I thought wine, would give me my revenge.
It was almost dark one evening in the spring when I met Fortune. Fortunate in the street alone. He spoke to me more warmly. 合ってる
Warmly.
Warmly than was usual, for already he had drunk more wine than was good for him. I acted pleased to see him and shook his hand as if he had been my closet friend. Fortunate, how are you? Montreal. Good evening, my friend. My dear Fortunate, I am indeed glad that I have met you. I was just thinking of you, for I have been tasting my new wine. I have bought a full cask なんていうの
Cask.
cask of a fine wine, which they tell me is amontillado, but amontillado, wheat,
Quite.
quite impossible. I know, it does not seem possible. As I could not find you, I was just going to talk to なんていうの
Lucreci.
Lucreci. If anyone understand why it is nonsense, he will tell me. Lanquist, he does not know one wine from another, but they say he as much about wine as you know. Oh, come on, let us go. Go where? To your bottle. To taste the wine. No, my friend, no, I can't see that you are not well, and the bullets are cold and wet. I do not care. Let us go. I will enough. The cold nothing amounted. Someone is playing games with you. And Lucy.
Lucreci.
Sorry. Lucreci knows nothing about wine, nothing at all.
As he spoke, Fortunato took my arm, and I allowed him to hurry me to my great stone palace, where my family and the Montresors had lived for centuries. There was no one at home. I had told the servants that they must not leave the palace, as I would not return until the following morning, and they must care for the place. This I knew was enough to make it certain that they would all leave as soon as my back was turned.
I took down from their palace on the wall to
Brightly.
brightly burning light. I gave one of three to Fortunate and led him to a wide doorway なんていうの
The doorway.
doorway. There we could see the stone steps going down into the darkness. Asking him be careful, be as he followed. I went down before him, down under the ground, deep under the old walls of my palace. We came finally to the bottom of the step and stood there a moment together. The earth which formed 合ってる
The earth which formed.
formed. The floor was cold and hot. We were entering the last resting place of the dead of the Montreas family. Here too we kept out finest wine. Here in the cool, dark, still air under the ground.
Fortunato's step was not sure because of the wine he had been drinking. He looked uncertainly around him, trying to see through the thick darkness which pushed in around us. Here our brightly burning lights seemed weak indeed, but our eyes soon became used to the darkness. We could see the bones of the dead lying in large piles along the walls. The stones of the walls were wet and cold.
From the long rows of bottles which were lying on the floor among the bones, I closed one which contained a very good wine. Since I did not have anything to open the bottle with, I struck the stone wall with it and broke off the small end. I offered the bottle to Fortunate. Here, Fortunate, drink some of this fine medoc. 合ってる
Medoc.
Medoc. It will help to keep us warm. Drink. Thank you, my friend. I drink to the dead who lie sleeping around us. And I fruit too. I drink to year-long life. Oh, a very fine wine indeed. But the ammoni... なんて読むんだっけ
But the
But the
Montiado.
Amontillado. It's the father on him.
We walked for some time. We were now under the river's bed, and water fell in drops upon us from above, deeper into the ground. We went past still more bones. Your vaults are many and large. There seems to be no end to them. We are a great family and an old one. It is not far now, but I can see you are trembling with the cold. Come, let us go back before it is too late. It is nothing. Let us go on. But first, another drink of your medoc.
I took up from among the bones another bottle. It was another wine of a fine quality, the brave. Again, I broke off the neck of the bottle. Fortunate took and drank it all without stopping for a breath. He loved and threw the empty bottle over his shoulder.
We went on, deeper and deeper into the earth. Finally, we arrived at a vault, which the air was so old and heavy that our lights almost died. Against the three of the walls, there were piles of bones, higher than our heads. From the fourth wall, someone had pulled down all the bones, and they were spread around us on the ground. In the middle of the wall was an opening into another vault, if I can call it that. A little room about 3 feet wide, 6 or 7 feet high, and perhaps 4 feet deep. It was hardly more than a hole in the wall. Go on, I said. Go in the Amontillado, it's in there.
Then to continue to go forward on なんていうの
Uncertainly.
Uncertainly, I followed him immediately. 合ってる
Immediately. 合ってます。
Immediately. Soon. Of course, he reached the back wall. He stood there a moment, facing the wall, surprised and wondering. In that wall were 2 heavy iron rings. A short chain was hanging from one of 3 those and a look from the other. Before Renato could guess what was happening. I closed the look and chained him なんていうの
Tightly.
tightly to the wall. I stepped back. Renato, I said, put your hand against the wall. You must feel how the water runs over it. One more, I ask you. Please, will you not go back? No? If not, then I must leave you. But first I must do everything I can for you. But the
Amontillado.
Amontillado. Yeah. Yes, indeed, the Amontillado.
As I spoke these words, I began to search among the bones. Throwing them to one side, I found the stones which earlier I had taken down from the wall. Quickly, I began to build the wall again, covering the hole where Fortunato stood trembling. Montresor, what are you doing? I continued working. I could hear him pulling at the chain, shaking it wildly. Only a few stones remained to put in their place. Montresor, haha, this is a very good joke indeed. Many times we will laugh about it. Haha. As we drink our wine together. Haha. Of course, as we drink the Amontillado. But is it not late? Should we not be going back? They will be expecting us. Let us go. As I said this, I lifted the last stone from the ground. Montresor, for the love of God. Yes, for the love of God.
I heard no answer. Fortunato. I cried. Fortunato. I heard only a soft, low sound, a half cry of ear. My heart grew sick. It must have been the cold. I
Hurried.
hurried to force the last stone into its position, and I put the old bones again in a pile against the wall. For half a century, no human hand has touched them. May he rest in peace.
はい、終わりました。この話、わかりますか？
わかんないってだから。わかんないよ。どういう話なのこれ。なんかワインをなんか取る話みたいな。
喋っている人は、
はい。
フォートナドではない人です。
はいはいはい。
本当そうです。
はい。
本当そうさんは、フォートナドのことが大嫌いです。
あ、そう
で、
なの？
埋めます。今回は短かったです。
そう。
読み続けたいですか？
どうしよっかな。何すんのこの後バラバラは。
やめたいならやめても大丈夫です。私は読み続けます。
ああ、じゃあ、バラバラ読んでて、僕やめるわ。
うん
難しい。ありがとう、でも。
うん
大丈夫？
私大丈夫です。
ああ、大丈
これも夢です。テールハート。
夫。
これは4ページです。
あ
これも短いです。
あ。長いよ。
次回はドラキュラを読みます。私、
ああ。長い。
長いです。エドガー・アルン・ポーは19世紀行きました。英語はちょっと古いです。でもまだ一般的な英語を喋る人には分かりやすいです。では、読みます。It's true. Yes, I have been ill. Very ill. But why do you say that? I have lost control of my mind. Why do you say that I am mad? Can you not see that I have full control of my mind? Is it not clear that I am not mad? Indeed, the illness only made my mind, my feelings, my senses stronger, more powerful. My sense of hearing, especially, became more powerful. I could hear sounds I have never heard before. I heard sounds from heaven, and I heard sounds from hell. 今回も読みたいですか？
どっちが読んだ方がいい？
Listen, listen, and I will tell you how it happened. You will see. You will hear how healthy my mind is. It is impossible to say how the idea first entered my head. There was no reason for what I did. I did not hate that old man. I even loved him. He had never hurt me. I did not want his money. I think it was his eye. His eye was like that of a vulture. in the eye of one of those terrible birds that watch and wait while an animal dies and then fall upon a dead body and pull it to pieces to eat it. When the old man looked at me with his vulture eye of a cold feeling and went up and down my back, even my blood became cold, and so I finally decided that I had to kill the old man and close that eye forever. So you think that I am not mad? A madman cannot plan. But you should have seen me. During all that week, I was friendly to the old man. As I could be, warm and loving. Every night, about 12 o'clock, I slowly opened his door. And when that door was opened wide enough, I put my hand in, and then my head, and then in my hand, I held a light covered over with a cloth so that no light showed, and I stood there quietly. Then carefully, I lifted the cloth, just a little, so that a single, thin, small light fell across that eye. For 7 nights I did this. 7 long nights, every night, at midnight. Always the eye was closed, so it was impossible for me to do the work. For it was not the old man I felt I had to kill, it was his eye, his evil eye. And every morning, I went to his room with a warm, friendly voice, and I asked him how he had slept. He could not guess that every night, just at 12, I looked at him as he slept. The 8th night, I was more than usually careful as I opened the door. The hands of a clock moved more quickly than did my hand. Never before had I felt so strongly my own power. I was now sure of success. The old man was lying there, not dreaming that I was at his door. Suddenly, he moved in his bed. You may think I have become afraid, but no, the darkness in his room was thick and black. I knew he could not see me. I knew he could not see the opening of the door. I continued to push the door, slowly, softly. I put my hand with the covered light. Suddenly, the old man sat straight up in bed and cried, "Who's there?" I stood quite still. For a whole hour I did not move, nor did I hear him again lie down in his bed. He sat there listening. Then I heard a sound, a low cry of fear, which escaped me from the old man. Now I knew he was sitting up in his bed, filled with fear. I knew that he knew that I was there. He did not see me there. He could not hear me there. He felt me there. Now he knew that death was standing there. Slowly, little by little, I lifted the cloth up until a small, small light escaped from it to fall upon that vulture eye. It was open, wide open, and my anger increased as it looked straight at me. I could not see the old man's face, only that eye, that hard blue eye, and the blood in my body became like ice. Have I not told you that my hearing had become unusually strong? Now I could hear quick, low, soft sound, like the sound of a clock, heard through a wall. It was the beating of the old man's heart. I tried to stand quietly, but the sound grew louder. The old man's fear must have been great indeed. And as the sound grew louder, my anger became greater and more painful. But it was more than anger. In the quiet night, in the dark silence of the bedroom, my anger became fear. For the heart was beating so loudly that I was sure someone must hear it. The time had come. I rushed into the room, crying, "Die! Die!" The old man gave a loud cry of fear as I fell upon him and held the bed covers tightly over his head. Still, his heart was beating, but I smiled, as I felt that success was near. For many minutes, that heart continued to beat. But at last the beating stopped. The old man was dead. I took away the bed covers, and held my ear over his heart. There was no sound. Yes, he was dead. Dead as a stone. His eye would trouble me no more. So I am mad, you say? You should have seen how careful I was to put the body where no one could find it. First, I cut off the head, then the arms, and the legs. I was careful not to let a single drop of blood on the floor. I pulled up 3 of the boards that formed the floor, and I put the pieces of the body there. And I put the boards down again, carefully, so carefully that no human eye could see it. They had moved. They had been moved. As I finished this work, I heard that someone was at the door. It was now 4 o'clock in the morning, but still dark. I had no fear, however, as I went down to open the door. 3 men were there at the door, 3 officers of the police. One of the neighbors had heard the old man's cry and called the police. These 3 had come to ask questions and to search the house. I asked the police to come in. The cry, I said, was my own, in a dream. The old man said I was aware, but he had gone to visit a friend in the country. I took them through the whole house, telling them to search it all, to search well. I led them finally into the old man's bedroom, as if playing a game with them. I asked them to sit down and talk for a while. My easy, quiet manner made the policemen believe my story, so they sat talking with me in a friendly way. But although I answered them in the same way, I soon wished that they would go. My head hurt, and there was a strange sound in my ears. I talked more, and faster, and the sound became clearer, and they still sat and talked. Suddenly, I knew that sound was not in my ears. It was not just in my head. At that moment, I had become quite white. I talked still faster and louder, and the sound too became louder. It was a quick, low, soft sound, and the sound of a clock heard through a wall. A sound, like I knew. Louder it became, and louder. Why did the men not go? Louder and louder. I stood up and walked quietly around the room. I pushed my chair across the floor to make more noise to cover up the terrible sound. I talked even louder, and the men sat and talked and smiled. Was it possible that they could not hear? No. They heard. I was certain of it. They knew. Now it was they who were playing a game with me. I was suffering more than I could bear. From their smiles and from the sound, louder, louder, louder. Suddenly I could hear it no longer. I pointed at the boards and cried, "Yes, yes, I killed him. Pulled up the boards, and you shall see. I killed him. But why does his heart not stop beating? Why does it not stop?" 終わりました。
お疲れ。
この話では、
うん、
主人公はおじいさんの目が好きではないので、おじいさんを殺します。
いい。
でも、おじいさんは死んでも、主人公は心臓が聞こえます。
うん。
警察が来て、でも、心臓の音が聞こえないです。
うん。
主人公だけ聞こえます。
うん。
それ以上です。
怖い話ばっかりや。
あとは読みたい話はないです。読んでほしい物語はありますか？話はありますか？
読んでほしい話
はい。
難しい。わからないもん、どれがどれか。
うん。出るドアはありますか？
いや、英語名全部わからん。
あ、とても短い話を探します。
はい。
何か知ってます。何かわかります。
わかんない、わかんない。
Grimm Brothers Fairy Tales の113ページです。
13ページ。はい。
赤ずきん。
赤ずきん、ああ。
Little Red Riding Hood。では始めます。
はい。
Once upon a time, there was a dear little girl who was loved by everyone who looked at her, but most of all by her grandmother, and there was nothing that she would not have given to the child. Once she gave her a little cap of red velvet, which suited her so well that she would never wear anything else, and so she was always called Little Red Cape, Little Red Cap. 今回は読みたいですか？
読んだ方がいいんだって。読むよ。
はい。
読んだ方がいい？
はい。
One day her mother said to her, "Come little red cap, here is a piece of a cake and a bottle of wine. Take them to your grandmother. She is ill and weak, and they will do her good. Set out before it gets hot. And when you are going, walk." なんて読むの？
And you're going, walk nicely and quietly.
Nicely and quietly. And do not run off the path, or you may fall and break the bottle, and then your grandmother will get nothing, and when you go into her room, don't forget to say good morning and don't peep into every corner before you do it. I will take great care. I said little red cap to her mother and gave her hand on it.
The grandmother lived out in the wood, half a league from the village. And just as little Redcap entered the wood, a wolf met her. Redcap did not know what a wicked creature he was. He was not all that afraid of him. "Good day, little Redcap," said he. "Thank you kindly, wolf. Whither away so early, little Redcap?" "To my grandmother's." "What have you got in your apron?" "Cake and wine. Yesterday was a baking day, so poor sick grandmother is to have something good to make her stronger." "Where does your grandmother live, little Redcap?" "A good quarter of a league farther into the wood. Her house stands under the large oak trees. The nut trees are just below. You surely must know it," replied little Redcap.
Ralph thought to himself, "What a tender young creature. What a nice plump." 合ってる
Plump.
plump. あ、次もわからん。
Mouthful.
Mouthful. She will be better to eat than the old woman. I must act craftily so as to coach both. So he walked for a short time by the side of Little Red Cap, and then he said, "See, Little Cap, how pretty the flowers and about here. Who do not look around? I believe too that you do not hear how sweetly the little birds are singing as you walk gravely along as if you were going to school, while everything else out here in the wood is merry."
Little Redcap raised her eyes, and then she saw the sunbeams dancing here and there, the trees and pretty flowers growing everywhere. She thought, "Suppose I take grandmother a fresh nosegay. That would please her, too. It was so early in the day that I shall still get in there in good time." And so she ran from the path into the wood to look for flowers, and whenever she had picked one, she fancied that she saw a still prettier one farther, and ran after it, and got deeper in the wood, and deeper into the wood. Meanwhile, the wolf ran straight into the grandmother's house and knocked at the door. "Who is there?" "Little Redcap," replied the wolf. "She is bringing cake and wine. Open the door." "Lift the latch," called out the grandmother. "I am too weak and cannot get up."
The wolf lifted the latch. Latch? なんていうの
Latch.
Latch. The door sprang. なんていうの
Sprang open.
Sprang open, and without saying a word, he straight to the grandmother's bed and devoured her. Then he put on her clothes, dressed himself in her cap, laid himself in bed and drew the わからん
Curtain.
curtain.
Little Redcap, however, had been running about picking flowers, and when she had gathered so many that she could not carry no more, She remembered her grandmother and set out on her way to her.
She was surprised to find the cottage door standing open, and when she went into the room, she had such a strange feeling that she said herself, "Oh dear, how uneasy I feel today." And at other time, I like being with grandmother so much. She called out, "Good morning," but received no answer, so she went to bed and drew back the curtain. There lay her grandmother with her cap pulled far over her face and looking very strange. "Oh, grandmother," she said, what big ear you have. The better to hear you with my child," was the reply. "But grandmother, what big ear you have it," she said. "The better to see you with, my dear." "But grandmother, what large hands you have. The better to hug you with." "Oh, but grandmother, what a terrible big mouth you have. The better to eat you with."
And scarcely had the wolf said this. And with one bound, he was out of bed and swallowed up Redcap. When the wolf had appeased his appetite, he laid down again in the bed, fell asleep, and began to snore very loud. The huntsman was just passing the house, and thought to himself, "How the old woman is snoring! I must just see if she wants anything." So he went into the room, and when he came out to the bedroom, he saw that the wolf was lying in it. "Do I find you here, you old sinner?" said he. "I have long sought you." Then, just as he was going to fire at him, it occurred to him that the wolf might have devoured the grandmother, and that she might still be saved, so he did not fire, but took a pair of scissors and began to cut open the stomach of the sleeping wolf. When he had made 2 snips, he saw that little Redcap shining, and then he made 2 snips more, and the little girl sprang out crying. "Oh, how frightened I have been! How dark it was inside the wolf!" And after that, the aged grandmother came out alive, also, but scarcely able to breathe. Redcap, however, quickly fetched great stones with what they had filled the wolf's belly, and when he awoke, he wanted to run away, but the stones were so heavy he collapsed at the once and fell dead.
All three were dealing, なんていうの?
Delighted.
Delighted. The huntsman threw off the wolf's skin and went home with it. The grandmother ate the cake and drank the wine, which Redcap had brought, and David, but Redcap thought to herself, "As long as I live, I will never by myself leave the path to run into the wood. When my mother has
Forbidden.
forbidden me to do so."
It also related that once Redcap was again taking cakes to the old grandmother, another wolf spoke to her and tried to entice her from the bath. Redcap, however, was on her guard and went straight forward on her way, and told her grandmother that she had met the wolf, and that he had said good morning to her, but with such wicked look in his eyes that if they had not been in a public road, she was certain he would have eaten her up. "Well," said the grandmother, "we will shut the door, and that he may not come again." Soon afterwards, The wolf knocked and cried, "Open the door, grandmother. I am little Redcap, and I am bringing you some cakes." But they did not speak or open the door, so the greybeard stole twice or thrice around the house, and at last jumped on the roof, intending to wait until Redcap was home in the evening, and then to steal after her and devour her in the darkness. But the grandmother saw what was in his thoughts. In front of the house, it was a great stone, though. She said to the child, "Take the pail, Redcap. I made some sausages yesterday, so carry the water in which I boiled them to the trough." Redcap carried until the great trough was quite full. Then the smell of the sausages reached the wolf, and sniffed and peeped down, and at last stretched out his neck so far that he could no longer keep his footing, and began to slip, and slipped down from the roof, straight into the great trough, and he drowned. But Redcap went joyously home, and no one ever did anything to harm her again. 終わりです。
はい。
もうすぐ終了したいと思います。これで終了したいと思います。
はい。
参加してくれてありがとうございます。
ねえ、ありがとうございました。こちらこそ。
はい。では、クレジット。今日のゲストは、からくりジンでした。
ありがとうございます。
リンクはこちらです。
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
今日も見てくれてありがとうございます。次回も見に来てくれるとありがたい。スペイン語の一つ忘れてしまいました。Gracias por mirar. Espero que venga a ver en la próxima vez. 明日の
はい。
10時から配信をします。
はいはい。
ジンさんの次の配信はいつですか？広告したいですか？
明日です。明日12時からやります。
はい。
朝遅れるかな？でも1時ぐらいからかもしれないです、明日は。
はい、わかりました。はい。では、終了。お疲れ。
お疲れ様です。
お疲れ様です。バイバイ。通話も終了します。はい、また来てくれてありがとうございます。参加してくれてありがとうございます。
いいえ。
お疲れ様です。バイバイ。
お疲れ様です。バイバイ。